Hi, my name is Jordan King. I'm the STARS Program Coordinator here at AASHE, and this video is part of a series where AASHE staff highlight data quality tips and resources for credits in the latest version of STARS. Today, rather than focusing on a specific credit, I'm going to walk you through some of the most significant changes between version 2.1 and 2.2. During this video, I'll be referencing a few different resources that will be helpful, including the STARS 2.2 Summary of Changes and the AASHE Help Center. The Institutional Characteristics section of version 2.1 has now become the report preface. This is the only unscored section of STARS, and it is where you will enter a lot of data that will then be used throughout the rest of your report. This includes your campus size and features, the number of students and employees that you have, and many other key data points. Within this section, we've added a new feature called Points of Distinction that will allow you to highlight a handful of programs or initiatives that your institution is particularly proud of. We've also incorporated the executive letter into this section in order to simplify the process and make it possible for you to upload your letter before formally submitting the report. Within the academics category of STARS, we've made a couple of minor changes to the academic courses credit by adding clarifications for the sustainability challenges and sustainability course offering definitions. The standards themselves aren't changing, but the definitions have been updated in an attempt to clarify the standards. Another change is that under 2.2, the inventory course descriptions must demonstrate justification for inclusion. This and more is discussed in the credit video for academic courses. The two credits that have changed the most are learning outcomes and open access to research. The structure and scoring was changed for the learning outcomes credit to differentiate between sustainability learning outcomes established at the institution or division level and those that are established at the program level. The learning outcomes credit video in the Help Center goes into detail about these changes, as well as the issues to look for when reporting under this credit. For open access to research, we responded to a lot of feedback from participants and experts in this space by revising the criteria and scoring to provide more ways for institutions to earn points under this credit. Within the engagement category of STARS, two credits that have changed quite a bit are the peer educator program credits, both for students and employees. We've tried to make both of these credits more robust by requiring information about the number of individuals trained and the hours of training. For a list of issues to watch out for in these credits, take a look at the Help Center videos. The community service credit also changed slightly to recognize incentives for employee community service, and the trademark licensing credit is now providing partial points for having a labor code of conduct. In the operations category, we've done some restructuring of the emissions credits by separating the inventory and disclosure piece from the emissions performance aspect. The intent is to simplify reporting by consolidating gross emissions reporting in a single credit. You can see the credit videos for emissions inventory and disclosure and greenhouse gas emissions for a list of issues to watch out for. The food and beverage purchasing credit received some pretty significant changes, with more emphasis now being placed on plant-based purchases and sustainable production methods, and less emphasis on local purchases. The Help Center video for this credit goes into a lot of detail about these changes and the common issues to look out for when you're reporting under this credit. Several of the purchasing credits have changed, mostly in order to recognize more standards and eco-labels. And one final change to the operations category is that the employee and student commuting credits are now combined into one commute modal split credit that allows them to be weighted more appropriately. If we take a look at the planning and administration category, the first major change is to the sustainability planning credit, where we've streamlined reporting by only requiring sustainability objectives to be reported across the four major categories of STARS, rather than each subcategory. We are also now awarding points if sustainability is integrated into the institution's strategic plan. Within the inclusive and participatory governance credit, we've made several changes to simplify reporting, and we've added a new section that recognizes gender equity in institutional governance. One major change to this section of STARS is the addition of the reporting assurance credit, which is brand new and awards points to institutions that conduct a review of their data prior to submitting their STARS report, either internally or through a third-party or peer review process. The reporting assurance credit video in the Help Center goes into more detail and highlights issues to look out for if you decide to pursue this new credit. In the investment and finance section, we've changed the scoring for the sustainable investment credit so that scoring can be weighted more heavily for institutions that have larger endowments and less heavily for institutions with very small endowments. For the employee compensation credit, we've added a new option for institutions that don't have wage data for contractors, which will allow them to instead report the percentage of employees of contractors who are covered by collective bargaining agreements or union contracts. Within this credit, we've also lowered the targets for total compensation. And finally, there is new recognition for smoke-free environments within the wellness programs credit, and we've also added recognition for occupational health and safety management systems within the workplace health and safety credit. Last but not least, let's talk about innovation and leadership. The credits in this section still offer bonus points, which means the points are added on top of your percentage-based score. The section is still capped at 4 bonus points max, but all of the credit options, including the open-ended innovation credits, are now worth half a point each. In the previous version, exemplary practices were worth a half point and innovation credits were worth a full point. With 2.2, we've also introduced the opportunity to earn partial points on some of these exemplary practices, and we've introduced many new exemplary practice options, which you can see here, and we encourage you to take a look at all of those. For more information about the Innovation and Leadership section, please take a look at the overview video in the Help Center. Thank you for watching. As a reminder, many of the credits I mentioned in this video have their own video in the Help Center with more information about credit criteria, scoring, and common issues. Please take a look, and if you have any questions, please post in the STARS community or reach out to us at stars@aashe.org. We're happy to help and wish you the best of luck on your STARS journey.